All right. So, so imagine that you were sent to the store. Maybe your parents sent you there or your spouse. You have to go buy some fruit. So you're going to get some apples and oranges. I'm sorry, let's not do oranges. Let's do bananas. So I'm going to get some apples and bananas and then maybe a treat for myself. So I haven't thought of a treat yet, but I have a basket full of apples and bananas. Let's say I have 5 apples and 2 bananas. So we'll draw those out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My 2 bananas. Okay, let's say each apple cost just $1. So I've got 5 apples times, could do X as far as times, they both mean times. So 5 times 1, it's going to bring us to $5 worth of apples. 2 bananas, let's say they're 50 cents each. So we've got here $1 worth of bananas. And we did this math quick in our head because we saw that there was some gum, our favorite gum, near the register. We wanted to see if we could buy it, but we actually only brought $10 with us. So we only have $10 in our pocket, and we need to see if we have enough money. So the gum, here's our gum. Skinny little gum packet. And let's say that that is listed at $3. And we're just getting one of those. 3 times 1 is $3. 5 plus 1 is $6. And then 6 plus 3 is $9. And $9 is in fact less than 10. So we are good to go. Okay, let's think about a little bit more complicated situation. One apple is $1.17. One banana is, let's say, 59 cents. Okay, and our gum, instead of exactly 3, it's $2.99. And then also we have to think about tax. So we don't have enough time to do this in our head, and neither just the cashier, and it's the cash register that's going to end up doing this work. And we don't have enough time to figure out if we can buy this gum or not. So we're just going to roll the dice, hope for the best, hope that our $10 is going to cover the price of everything that we're going to buy. So we just put everything on the conveyor belt, the cash register scans it, and we look at the total and then just hope that it's right. So we have our cash register here. Okay. And they scan stuff over here. They scan our banana. And our apple's waiting to be scanned. Okay. And then here we have a running total. But we don't know what it is yet. So what the cash register is going to do, it's going to use expressions in its code. There's a software program that a person wrote sometime, and they uploaded it to this cash register somehow. And so if you've heard of software or coding, that's where this comes into play, is with things like this cash register here, or your phone. Anything really you can think of has some sort of coding in it. Maybe your car. And this is one of the main reasons why we're learning about algebra, and in this lesson, variables, equations, expressions, and just math in general, is because in most professions have tools that use software. So that's why we're learning math. That's the why. But in our specific example over here, what is our cash register doing? There we go. let's say that somewhere inside this cash register, there's a computer program, and that computer program has variables. Okay, so a variable in this sense is basically this apple here. So instead of saying 117, we've assigned it to this apple symbol, and that's a variable. And you could think of a variable as simply something that might change, something that might vary. That's kind of where the word comes from. So in the software program, we might get these values dynamically every day, kind of refresh the values of these variables. But if we have a variable, then the code doesn't really need to change, just the value that we're assigning to it. And I'll show you what I mean exactly. So say in that software program, we have variables, one for the price of Gala apples. Let's say the variable looks like this, Gala underscore apples. And maybe we have another variable for the type of bananas that we got. Maybe we got, we didn't realize it, but we got the Smith's bananas. Bananas. And then finally our gum. Our favorite gum is the made up Yum Yum gum. Forgive me if this is an actual gum. I've never heard of it. It's just made it up. Okay, so these are the variables that our cash register software program is going to use. A little bit better. Okay, so under the hood, we have Gala apples at, let's give those the price that we had before, 117. Our Smith's bananas are 59 cents. Yum Yum gum is $2.99. Okay, and so these are variables, and we use variables along with numbers to create something called an expression. And then this is the second part of our video that second topic we're gonna cover. So expression, it's a simple idea. It's basically, could just be a number or just a variable or some combination of numbers and variables by themselves, like a number times a variable. Again, a variable just evaluates to a number, but it could be a different number at different times. Example of expression is, let's say, 4 apples. Let's just say A for apples. That's an expression. Get the white there. That's an expression. I'll do a few more. Another one might be 4 apples plus 2 bananas. Let's do B for bananas. So 4A plus 2B, 4 apples plus 2 bananas. What's the price of that? Well, we don't know. We won't go there just yet, or just a variable, right? And it doesn't have to be the plus sign either. It could also be a subtracting. Okay, so these are all examples of expressions. Let me move this thing over a little bit. Okay, so those are expressions. Now, back to our software program for our cash register. So what it's going to do when it scans up all of our items, let's say for simplicity, instead of Gala apples, we'll just use GA. So how many GAs do we have? How many Gala apples do we have? We've got, I think I remember we got 4. Yeah, let's say we got 4 apples. So our final expression is going to be 4 GA, and then we're adding to that, Smith's bananas will do SB. We got 2 of those, so 2 SB. And then finally, 1 Yum Yum gum. Okay, and this is our final expression for our software program. 4GA plus 2SB plus 1YYM, that's going to equal our total. Now, in reality, we'd actually have tax too, so we can add that. So let's move this over here, zoom in and say, we'll add some tax, total. That's our total. And now this brings us to the final topic of this video, which is equations. Okay, so what is an equation? And an equation is so simply just two expressions separated by an equal sign. So you can kind of infer that from the name, equation. So basically two things equaling each other, and in our case, we're comparing expressions. So whenever you're comparing expressions with an equal sign, that is an equation. So here we've just created an equation. Now let's replace the total with an actual value and see if we can in fact afford to get our gum or not. So I did these calculations before, and I think the subtotal is 885, and if we add tax of 10%, so about 88 cents, that's going to give us a grand total of, drum roll, grand total of $9.73. Okay, so this math would have been really hard to do in our heads, and it would have been hard for the cashier to do in their head. And so we write the software so that the cash register, the machine, can do that math for us super fast. And not only does it do that math for us, especially if we have hundreds of items, it does it in an instant using electricity, the elements that God gave us on the earth to process all of this information super fast, and then also print that out on a receipt. And it uses these software programs, and it uses expressions and variables and equations.